Good afternoon. Today we will look at the advice that will help you reduce stuttering and the most common mistake that people who stutter make when trying to overcome it on their own. So, it is that people try to read a lot. I have acquaintances who try to read for 2 to 3, 4 hours a day, almost daily, for a month or two. And then they complain that despite all their efforts, it was all in vain. In other words, they also stuttered, but earlier, or the stuttering would decrease, but only for a short time. So, why do I not recommend reading a lot? Because reading is one process, while speaking is another process. Let me explain. When you stutter, when you communicate in life, do you read from a book, a notebook, or a piece of paper? No. So what do? You read from memory, meaning there is some information in your head that was loaded earlier, maybe a month ago, or perhaps a year ago, or even 2 days ago, just 15 minutes ago, but still previously loaded recently. And you are already reproducing it. So either from short-term memory or from long-term memory. Well, about Polina, it means that at some point you heard something, learned something, or maybe you told yourself about private earnings for a long time. It's about who was with you, or somewhere else, a year ago, 2 years ago, 15 years ago. In any case, you are reproducing information from your memory, and this is exactly the skill you need to develop. Instead of reading, when, for example, you start reading, it's a big journey around planet Earth. We live in an amazing world. Here, volcanoes erupt, rivers break through new riverbeds, harmless clouds turn into fierce hurricanes. Deep underground, stalactites and stalagmites grow. Yes, and the Earth itself is literally slipping away from under our feet as the continents are constantly moving. Instead of reading, I recommend retelling more. So, you take, for example, one word, look at it, and retell it, like big. Then the next one, journey. And while doing this, you put more emphasis on the vowels, and even more on the stressed vowels, because that's where our emotions are mostly expressed. This way, the speech becomes more natural. For instance, you work on it for about 5 minutes, warming up, and then you start with 2 or 3 words. Big journey around planet Earth. What are you doing, reading? I'm retelling. We indeed live in an amazing and truly incredible world, where volcanoes erupt, rivers carve new paths, harmless clouds turn into fierce hurricanes, and deep underground, stalactites and stalagmites grow. Absolutely, truly. And the Earth itself is literally slipping away from under our feet. And the entire continent is constantly moving. First, we work on this. This will really be much more useful than just regular reading. But we were only working with short-term memory. But we also need long-term memory. How is it done? So, first you work, for instance, with conversational memory in retelling mode. And then you turn on some motion picture or series, watch it, and carefully remember what's happening in it. And after about 5 to 7 minutes, you pause it and start telling yourself everything you saw. So again, you need to remember for 5 minutes. You might not remember everything, but at least 1/10 of it would be good. But the main thing is to talk about it and to slightly increase our workload. We can, for example, turn on the camera or the phone, smartphone, and tell all of this actually on video. Then all of this can be saved. And so that you don't feel like you're just talking to yourself, like it's not hard for me. I have a conversation within 4 walls. Okay. You can forward this to either your curator or your friend if you want. You take the course either for your friend or a relative, justified by the fact that you need it, that you want to develop. You can improve your speech skills, speech abilities, and so on. I won't even mention stuttering, just as an example. You decided to make an upgrade for certain reasons. And you need to understand that if you want to, you'll find options. You'll find them. The possibilities from our efforts are vast, and it all depends on how we've worked with it. What can we do next? We can again tell either to ourselves first, and then also on camera. And by keeping all of this in your archive, what we know, but also what we got to know, for example, a year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, we can recall it in vivid colors, like when, for instance, a girl met a friend. They were discussing something about football, watching it, or maybe you went there or ran away. From someone from a company of gopniks, we tell anything. This is already called working with long-term memory speech work. And this work will be much better than ordinary reading. Use it and improve your speech.